Howdy, howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be deep diving into the Phoenix 4, as well as a couple of other ideas that I've been working on just for funsies. We haven't done a Magic Theory video in a while, so I'm going to jump into the trick. We're going to redo it. We just did it in shorts, but we're going to do it for you here. And after that's over, if you don't want to hear the behind the scenes stuff for this trick, then feel free to check out our other material. So in this case, what we're going to want to do is we need a 4 of a kind. Let's go ahead and go with the queens, just like we did in the original video. Now this is a Phoenix 4 trick, right? You got a 4 of a kind, and you got the Firebird. So basically what's going to happen is just like the Phoenix in the ashes, it dies, right? And then in the chaos of all of that, you have this miraculous thing happen. For instance, you have it's chaos, right? Back to front, front to back, and in some cases it's actually back to back, right? But just as the Phoenix rises from the ashes, we shall also have a rebirth here. But the operative word is rise. Yes. Because the Phoenix will rise from the deck. And that is all 4 queens ready to go. But of course, we also have that renewal that we talked about, which has all of the cards restored back to normal. Now I do apologize if there is some frame rate issues. We'll double check that in the post. But this is a good part for everybody who's just watching for the Magic. We'll see you in the next one. But if you guys want to stay around for the Magic Theory, let's go ahead and get started. This particular trick and build up for routine uses a couple of different moves that I will show you. But if you want to learn the originals, you can go check out Chris Ramsey. His library has a lot of different things you can learn from. I learned the slop deck shuffle. I can't remember exactly who I learned it from, but I think Jason Marr has a tutorial. Chris Ramsey might have a tutorial. But basically, you want to have a 4 of a kind. You can either pull it out of the deck like that, or you can find it. It's up to you. Whatever mysterious way you have of doing it. But get started. You're going to want your 4 of a kind here. And you want to fan it down so that the front card is at the top and the back card is at the bottom. So as you put it into the deck, at least this is the method I use. You could put it in one at a time. But you just fan through the deck with your thumb and get them about evenly distributed because it looks better. And then as you come down, you're going to come over the top with your index finger, and you're going to kind of looks like you're pushing them straight in, but you're going to out jog them from the side so that as you continue with the deck and you tilt down, you're going to hold it with your thumb. It's going to be sticking out the side. You're going to pull forward, and you're just going to either dribble or place the deck into your hand. So it looks like you just squared up the deck. Now they are on the bottom of the deck, all 4 of them. You have a choice here, but for this particular routine, you don't need to. You can keep your thumb in there. If you want to be all natural with it, you would just come back later and just get a pinky pull down on the bottom 4. However you want to do that. But in this case, you're going to go into the slop deck shuffle, which is going to look like this. You're going to thumb off a packet. You're going to turn it over, and you keep going back and forth. And that's going to lock in this idea that you're mixing up the cards one way or the other. Now, when you get to the bottom 4, you want to look pretty natural like that. You don't want to look like you're counting cards, but you want to keep in mind that you want to retain the queens. Typically, you would put those on top, and that would allow you to do a production of those. But in this case, you want to keep them on the bottom. You're going to square everything up. Then you get your pinky break in there. And that's why you didn't need to do it earlier, because there's a natural moment where you can just get this and then go right into the display of showing that the cards are face up into face down into face up. And then even somewhere here in the middle, they're back to back. Now as you come back down here, you go for your rubber band. The deck is naturally placed in a position where that pinky break is just natural. And then you're going to take the rubber band, you're going to place it in where the pinky break is to block off the main part of the deck, but keep the 4 queens separate as they're locked in there. Now, for this particular trick, I like to keep the rubber band towards the top half that's away from you, so that when you shoot it up into the air, it gives it a little bit of an arc over to the other side. Now, your rubber band, this is a really tough thing to get to, because newer rubber bands have more tension and shoot further. Older rubber bands don't have as much strain to them. So you want to be extra careful, because if you don't have fresh rubber bands and you have like mixed rubber bands on your wrist, you might get the wrong one and it's going to mess up the top. So just be mindful of that. Now for the next part, here's the interesting part about this. I'll give you a little side note, cliff note. I just came up with this idea earlier today. Typically for this trick leaves the deck face to face. So when you go to fix it, it's 2 halves, which is fine. But by using the slop deck shuffle principle, I'm now actually in a position where I'm fixing the deck. But nobody knows that, because they think the deck is all mixed up. Now you're in this position. You don't want to flash the top, because they'll see the rubber band isn't all the way across the top. You keep it a little bit towards yourself. They'll see the rubber band here. You can show the bottom quickly, but then when you go to show it here, it's going to shoot up. And all of the cards are going to stay together for most of them. And that's going to allow you to catch all of them as one card and then display them. I've now retrieved all the queens from the mixed deck. But just as the phoenix rises from the ashes, so too does the deck restore itself in the renewal process. So the whole deck is now fixed. Beautiful. You're clean. The deck is clean. You can go right into the next move. You don't have to move things around. You don't have to do any transitional piece to get the deck back righted. Everything is set, but not just that. The deck doesn't necessarily have to change. If you practice this move enough, you can actually have the top packet be it back on top. And so you could theoretically stack the deck and just prepare for that when you twist and turn. And then all you would need to do to make sure that you're good is just look for a key fob. And then your stack would be undisturbed. Good. Now, as I said at the beginning, I do want to go over a couple of other ideas that I've been working on. So I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera so you can really see what I'm talking about today. Now, there's 3 different things that I want to show you. The first one I'm going to show you is the double lift. Okay, that's part of the first one, because I want to talk about quick changes. Quick change, medium change, and slow change. Now, the Erdnase change is something that I have worked on for quite some time, and I'm still not as happy with it as I would like to be. But what that allows you to do is it allows you to go right into another snap change, and then if you really wanted to, you could get that card to turn again. And so there is a couple of ideas that you could work with. Any one of those could be used by itself, but here's the step-up idea that I really love. So go for this. It's going to look very similar. That's the 6 of clubs. The Erdnase change is going to give you the 9 of spades. But then you ask your spectator, is this the 6 of clubs or the 9 of spades? If they're like, oh, you just changed it. Well, it's neither. It's actually the Jack of Diamonds. So that is something that I've kind of put together because I was never very good at the Erdnase change, but I also like having that little twist at the end. And all that is just a triple. So instead of doing the double lift, doing the Erdnase to change the top card, you could theoretically show them that there is no second card, and it is in fact just the Jack. Yeah, their original card is actually in the center of the deck, face up. So, what that is that's a concept that was created from a mistake. So I'll show you how that looks as well. So the Erdnase change, just to give you another look at that, you're going to show your hands. You're going to have a double. You're going to use your pinky as you turn over to push forward. It's just a natural slide progression as you turn over. It's going to kick the card just slightly forward, which is going to let you get the palm area here to pull back on that card. Slide it out until it comes completely clear. Then you're going to even up the card at the top. You could even get something real special in here if you palm that card correctly. You can show the two, and then you can square everything up. The problem here is with the double, it's back to the original card. So I figured with the triple, you could give that kicker ending where you show another card, do the Erdnase, it goes to the 6, and then just turn over your triple, and then if it's a completely different card because it's back to 2, which is great. Now you want to know about that other idea, which was how the card ended in the middle, potentially. It's a good way to get it in there. You're going to do the Erdnase, but instead of just doing 1 to get it back to here, see how I got another card already pulled out? Complete that. Sorry. But instead of squaring it up first, you're going to want to get that card underneath the change card. So when you palm this over here like that, the deck is clean, and as you're showing this card here at the table, you've just cut the card to the center. Now you're prepared for your next part. So that's an idea for you. So that's really all I got for you today. I wanted to give you a little bit of a bonus. You could use those as part of your routine. Let's say you don't want to just show the 4 queens. Maybe you want to mess around with some cards first. So you can do those little quick changes to get the queens to show up. And then you can pop those out to get the queens out after you've done a little bit of ambitious card work or just some magical change moments. And they work pretty well. So really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below if you enjoy this type of video. Don't forget to pick up your own Firebirds, just in case you want to have a theme trick just like this. Don't forget to pick up some rubber bands. These are the special rubber bands, the magic rubber bands. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you, everybody, and remember, always remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And hopefully, see you in the next. Okay, bye.